Hello, 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 world. Hello out there. Yay, today is Tuesday, May 12th, and this is month 4 of Go Live. Oh, it's Soul Sessions. I am so excited. I've even changed a little bit of the platform. So I start off with my love letter to you, and then we go into a conversation, and then I will pull cards. And I normally stay on for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how the conversation goes. And I'm just making a couple of adjustments here. Don't be afraid to go ahead and send me a hello in the chat, as I am happy to see you. Tonight, we got a good discussion, very good discussion. Can't wait. And that is, why do we ignore red flags? We're going to get into it on a personal discussion, and then we're going to pull cards for it, and it shall be awesome. I just want to do just a little bit of housekeeping here. Let me put this out here first. And these are ways how to contact me. And because once I get started, I really do not remember to come back and do this part, which is different ways on how to contact me. Okay, so that's side one. Yeah, I am out here. And copy and paste because I'm lazy with it. All right, and that's two. All right, great. Now that I got that out the way, there's different ways how to contact me. You could come get a private session with me one on one through my website. That is the most preferred. But if you are a part of um, different platforms, different psychic platforms, you can find me on there too. So I won't verbally say it, but it's there in the chat if you need. Okay, so here we go. You guys are so awesome. I love showing up for you. I love being here. So let's get centered and let's get ready to flow. All right. Good evening, beautiful souls. Yes, that means you. And welcome back to Soul Sessions. Let's take a moment to pause, take a deep breath in, and let one out. I don't know if you needed it, but I know that I did. Okay, I needed to release. I needed to release. If you enjoy reflective spaces like this, you're always welcome to subscribe and return to me. I appreciate you. I am here all week long. Um, and this is Soul Sessions, and it comes around each month. I like to do this the second week of each month. And tonight we're stepping into one question tarot readings. Okay. And before we move into the cards, I want to sit with something that I think many of us have experienced at some point in our lives. And that is, why do we ignore red flags? Why do we ignore red flags? Why do you think you ignore red flags? Well, sometimes the signs are always there early, okay? The discomfort, the inconsistency, the feeling that something isn't fully aligned. And yet we try to explain it anyway, right? So, sometimes we don't ignore red flags because we're naive. Let me take you off the hook there. We're not naive. We ignore the red flags. Um, and sometimes we ignore them because we see potential. And let's cut to the chase. We're talking about red flags in people, red flags in relationships, more so than anything else. We see potential in other people. We see potential in the relationship. We see potential in the job. We see potential in the car that we want to buy. we see potential in the restaurant that we would like to try. Okay. But there's a red flag. But, is that I'm going to give them a chance. And we see that who somewhat could become, what a situation might turn into, and what we hope will happen. And hope, well, hope can sometimes speak louder than intuition. Okay, let that part sit with you. Hope can sometimes speak louder than intuition. Why is that? Well, the first reason is because a lot of us don't realize that we carry the intuition. A lot of us don't realize that intuition is within us. We sometimes feel that intuition belongs to someone spiritually more advanced than we are. Sorry, I'm putting on my bracelets. Spiritually advanced more than what we are. And that is not true. We all have intuition. There's no gatekeeping here. We all have intuition. What's the difference between you and I sometimes is I practice. And I've not always, but for many years, I've practiced exercising and trusting and expanding and listening to my own cues that spirit is sending me. So it's a practice, it's an art, it's a practice. We're all born with it. Some use it to the full extent. Some just notice that it comes by every now and then, even though your intuition is alive and alert all the time. But sometimes we're so busy being automatons to the environment that we don't even realize that spirit is leading us. Spirit, guides, higher self, God, however you want to identify with it, that is totally up to you. There's no judgment here. I'm not here to take your faith from you, I'm here to enrich it. So we tend to ignore those things. And the interesting thing about intuition is that it rarely screams. We talked about this a little bit in last night's sessions. Intuition does not scream. Intuition is such a gentle nudge. It's such a wonderful feeling. It's almost like you get that light bulb. You can see the light bulb on top of your head, and it's a big aha. There it is. I got it. So it usually whispers, okay? It shows up as tension in the body sometimes, hesitation. It can also sometimes show up as confusion and needing consistent or constant reassurance. And often we know something feels off before we admit it to ourselves. And when something feels off, that is intuition saying, hey, let's take a step back for a minute. Look at the whole picture. And a lot of times, I know I used this example last night. Intuition kicks in. You could be driving to a place that you um, are going there on autopilot, but all of a sudden you'll get the sensation to take a different turn or to take an extra stop. And that is intuition stepping in a gap, helping you avoid something that is going forth. Sometimes we think that even us being late, not arriving on time is, oh, I'm going to be late. I shouldn't be late for this. But a lot of times that's intuition. That's your guide stepping in, preventing you from being in some type of a mayhem. And the delay is not denial. It'll get you there on time. You just have to step back and just, when I say step back, I don't mean like sit still. You just have to take that deep breath for a moment and say, okay, you nudged me. I'm listening. What is my next step? Okay. So the red flags are often self trust lessons, also. And sometimes the red flags are not only about the other person, sometimes they reveal where we're abandoning ourselves, where we override our own knowing, and where we are still learning to trust ourselves fully. Trusting yourself fully is so all about intuition. Trusting yourself fully is, yeah, I saw that red flag and I'm going to choose not to ignore it this time. Um, when we talk about red flags in other people and situations, I deal with this quite often on the psychic hotlines where the person that is leaning on me, they know that the person that they are questioning or involved in, they already saw while in the dating phase that there was lack of communication. You already saw in a dating phase that they had a wandering eye. You always already saw in the dating phase that they weren't ready to commit to you or anybody else. And these are the red flags that should not be ignored. You should take a step back and, for one, not assume, but you can question the person and see if their answer really sits with you. Can you believe what they're saying? Are they are they willing to be trustworthy and truthful? And these are things you would know when you have boundaries yourself. And having those boundaries for yourself means that you have to know that what is it that I like? What is it that I don't like? What is it that I'm going to stand for? Because let me tell you something, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Okay, that's just the truth. I was taught that at a very young age. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So, having those boundaries clear, and if young people or even middle-aged people are dating, how do you set boundaries? And I know this is going off target just a little bit, but I do want to put out there that how do you set boundaries is, first of all, you sit down and you write out letter, journal, however you do it, Google Docs, however you keep your journal. Okay. And if you don't journal, you should start. You really should start because you'll realize that what you write does come to pass. But you need to define these words. You need to define love. You need to define relationship. You need to define peace. You need to define support because these these four things not everybody defines the same way. And how you define them is how you live your life because you enact what you believe. Okay, if you believe in sickness, then sickness shall always come upon you. If you believe in happiness and joy can overrule everything, then happiness and joy is what you shall always uh, be able to enjoy and to receive. So, let's get ready to go into the cards. If you're on here tonight, we just did a quick, brief session on red flags our and why we ignore them. So if you have a question for me, you can go ahead and put it in the chats. I will read the question. And if you can, let the question be around your POI, your person of interest, and or it could be about you or a job. And let me know what this red flag is. Or what do you feel? And the cards will help us discover where it's coming from. All right. So, again, if you have a question resting on your heart, you're welcome to place it full question in the chat. And let's let the cards reveal. Let's let the cards reveal. Quick note about tarot cards: tarot cards never override free will. Okay. These cards is a mirror of your current situation, a mirror of your past, and a mirror of the future. However, when I say the future, that means possible outcomes, okay? Because any decision, any event can always change what's going on later down the line, stuff that has not been revealed yet. So let me look over at the chats. And I do see a question coming in. I did put there ahead of time and I pinned it to the top that there's several ways how to have private sessions with me. The preferred way is through my website. But if you are into, or part of Psychic Hotlines, you also can, I did put my direct links in the chat if you want to go that route also. I'll be more than happy to do a private reading for you. That question is still happening. Um, I come on YouTube Live every second week, full week of the month, and I call this session Soul Sessions. And Monday, Monday nights, we do one question, a yes and no clarity reading. Tuesdays, which is tonight, we do one question tarot. Wednesday, we do love and relationship insights. Thursday, we do 3 card soul guidance. And Friday, we do higher self messages. Okay. All right. So, what is cards revealing about red flags? This one. And this is saying something because it came through last night also. And this is the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So let's talk about this for a minute. Show it again so that you can see. Okay. As you see, this is the pentacles or coins are coming up in front of a stained glass window. And it seems like there's 2 people that are just broken, destitute. They're walking in the snow, possibly. One has a bandage on with crutches, and they just look like they're in bad shape, very bad shape. And then it's the 5. So the number 5, definitely for this conversation, red flag. Okay. So the number 5 is giving off the energy that this is definitely a hard time. 5 is broken. Hi, Maria Scorpio. Hi there. A 5 is broken. So 4 is stability. 5 is where everything seems like it's ready to crumble. It seems like everything is ready to just fall apart and nothing seems to be going right. What are the red flags here? The red flags is simply this in this particular card is there's help on the other side of this wall. And they are walking right past it. They potentially are walking right past where they can get some clarity, that where they can get some financial help, where they can get some type of assistance. So, oh, thank you, Spirit. So, this is coming through to me right now is that if you're watching this and this appeals to you, this is to me, this is speaking to someone that is in a position at work and they're struggling. This is really good. They're struggling with the assignment that was given. And that is because they are they're a senior in work, meaning that they've been there for several years, and younger people are coming in with more advanced technological skills, and they are afraid to ask for help. But here's the thing, I'm going to give you a quick tip. You can go, and I'm not an ambassador for ChatGPT. I just want to tell you, you can go to ChatGPT, put in a particular company, right? And put in your job description or your title and ask ChatGPT to start laying out some responsibilities that you have, and then go back and be honest with ChatGPT and tell it where you feel you are lacking. And let me tell you something, that bot will help get you in order. It will start training you. It will start giving you things that you haven't thought about. Then, therefore, you can start putting in your projects and letting it help, not do it for you, but let it help guide you into the best structure for it. Sometimes the help that we need is right there in front of us. And that is definitely what this card has said. Help that you are looking for is right there in front of you. What's the red flag? You're not listening. You didn't listen to intuition. And because you have been on a job for so long, honestly, your pride is in the way. You think you know everything, and now you're finding out that you don't. And now you're scared that the newer people are coming in to take over to do what it is that you're doing. But I need you to remember something. You have foundation, you have seniority, and you also have maturity, which sometimes most of the time, that is what you need to hold on to the position, not to be afraid and think that Gen Z is entitled to everything. It just means that you need to just go ahead and flex a little bit, but not be arrogant about it. And then when you go home, you go ahead and you do what you need to do to sharpen your skills. All right, Maria, can you please check what will happen between me and Philippe, my ex? Can we ever be a couple? Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. Can you ever be a couple? What have you noticed was a red flag? Philip. Okay, thank you. What have you noticed? Have you noticed any red flags? And then let's find out why you're ignoring them. Ah, okay, I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. He uses me. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card and then we're going to chat. Of course, I would pull this card. All right. This card is a devil card. Okay. Is this card calling Philip a devil? No. What this card is, I want you to look. I'm going to try to zoom in. I want you to notice the chains around the male and a female's neck. And it's also chained to or connected to the stool that the devil's sitting on. One thing about this chain I want you to look at, the nooses around their neck are loose, darling. They're very loose, which means you can take it off yourself. Nobody has this around you. So the red flag, yes, you put a whole lot in there. Okay. I hope you heard me. You are not chained. You can take the noose off your neck whenever you are ready. So the question is, are you ready? The question beneath that is not will you be a couple, because you already know the answer. Are you ready? Are you ready? What's the worst thing that can happen if you decide to take care of yourself, sweetheart? What's the worst thing that can happen when you give, when you decide to love on yourself enough to know that you deserve better? You are not these things that he has called you. However, you decided to take those labels and make them your own. So, the same way how you decided to take those labels and make them your own, you can disown them. Big question is, are you ready? What is it that you are afraid of by taking care of yourself? I do not advocate breaking up anybody's house. I do not advocate walking away from relationships, but I do advocate you starting to take care of yourself. I do advocate that if there is no self love, then there is no love at all. I do advocate that without a healthy spirit, without healthy energy, you can't do for or be there for anybody else. So I hope you understand that. And I hope you realize that you can never pour from an empty vessel. So, where it seems like it's selfish to take care of yourself, that is actually the opposite. That is selflessness, taking care of yourself. Okay. Is there any other questions? One thing else I wanted to say to you, Maria, all these names, okay, narcissist user calls you ugly, toxic, Yes, I do see your question sufficient for today. Hold on for 2 seconds. I just need to just address Maria. These names that you have called him, I want you to be careful because there's an old saying that says it takes one to know one. Now, I'm not saying that this is you. And if you hear me, I'm shuffling cards. I'm not saying that this is you. What I am saying that in order for you to recognize these symptoms, there is a little bit of mirror in that within yourself. And the reason why that's in there within yourself is because you have looked up those words, you have defined them to where you worked it in as a belief. And although you choose not to act it out in the way that he acts it out, you notice them because they are an embedded belief within you. So when you define those 4 words that I gave you before, and when you define these words that you're using to call him, then you can start to release his energy from you so that you can breathe, so that you can move on, so that you can have some structure, so that you can start to build these boundaries for yourself in your self care. All right, so now I'm going to move over to sufficient for today. Hello, and hello to you, my darling. By the way, you guys, my screen name is TenMustardSeeds, but my name is Belinda. On different psychic hotlines, I'm known as Lady Belle or Belle 911. So, hello. May I ask for guidance regarding romantic feelings towards my coworker? Is it mutual? Okay. I'm going to ask if you're still here with me. How long have you known your coworker? Okay. So Spirit spoke before you're able to answer me. And are the feelings mutual romantically? I get a yes. Okay. This is the Four of Wands. And this also, the Wands also means very quick moving. So this tells me that are there feelings? The answer is yes. Is it mutual? The answer is yes. Is it physical? That's the thing. This may be more physical than emotional. Okay. So I'll ask you sufficient for today if you're still with us. What are the red flags that you see? First one that I see is that it's a coworker, but you have been around the person long enough to know is the coworker already in a relationship? Is the coworker sitting to themselves most of the time? Does the coworker ever talk about being in a relationship with someone else? Is the coworker involved with senior management? There's a bunch of mutual questions. Okay. So if there is nothing else for tonight, and that is fine, I do appreciate you joining. I am just going to close with a simple message. Maria, if you're still here, I thank you for your questions. I hope what I said was able to resonate with you. And if it doesn't, that's not a big deal. But I do want you, if you don't get anything else from this, I need you to take care of yourself. Anybody else that's listening, the most selfless act you can do for anybody else is to be selfish, which is take care of you. If your cup isn't full, you can't help anybody else. Okay? So as we close for tonight's soul session, remember that your intuition is not here to create fear. Okay? It's here to create awareness. And the more we learn to trust ourselves, the more clearly we begin to see what is aligned for us. Thank you for sharing this space with me tonight. I really so wholeheartedly appreciate you. Tomorrow we'll continue with love and relationship insight. Until then, move gently, stay aware, and continue listening to what Spirit has been quietly trying to show you. Good night, beautiful ones. Love you.